What up? It's your What Incredible Minute. Yes, I just watched Fire Force episode 14, and I don't say perfect a lot. I say absolutely fantastic and wonderful and awesome and amazing and wonderbar, but I never really quite say perfect. But I'm gonna go out on the limb and scream that this episode was pure perfection for me, man. I enjoyed it. Like, oh boy, it was so much going on, man, from start to finish. It was absolutely wonderful. See what I did there? It was bomb, man, dude. It was nice from start to finish. And I start watching this episode, like, throughout. I was like, oh, okay, this is BENIMARU's episode. BENIMARU's finna show out this whole episode. He did that. You can't take it away from him. He did that this episode. But I want to give a huge shout out to SHINRA as well, man, because right there at the end, SHINRA showed out, and this whole episode was absolutely bomb, man. Let's get into it. Oh boy. Okay, so this episode was a conclusion of last week's episode where they're wrapping everything up that's in this 7th district or whatever, and they're dealing with the three evangelists. Oh boy. So this episode, we were having in last week's episode we had Conroe looking for BENIMARU, but in this episode we had BENIMARU find Conroe, and they're discussing what are their plans to do, because BENIMARU's telling Conroe that, hey man, everybody's being confused and mistaken by these people, like there's a lot going on. And he was like, Conroe, I need you to tell the people that what's going on and to try to rein everyone into control. And he was like, that's not my position. I mean, you got to do it, Benny. And we had Obi and the lieutenant looking on and was like, well, should we help? And they were kind of still wondering what was going on. And we still had SHINRA and Arthur fighting the other evangelists off on the side. So BENIMARU stood up, man, and this dude chopped off the top of the bell tower, and he had that floating in the middle of the sky, and he just stopped everything. Hey, everybody that's here, I want to say their town is Akatsu or Akatsu or something like that. He was like, everybody in Akatsu, we have people that infiltrated our place and they're pretending to be us and all this stuff, but that's okay, that's fine, that's cool. Because right now we're going to have a festival. We're going to have a festival, so you take it, you start punching people and attacking everyone. So that's what they did. And at this time, we also had the evangelist that can morph people into different people watching. He wasn't even on the sidelines, really. He was just like in the midst of it all. He was watching and everything go happen. He was like, oh, I love art. This is wonderful. This is artistic. And the moment BENIMARU said that, and everybody started fighting and just going at it with each other, and they were punching real people, they were punching the morph people, they were just punching people. And he was like, this is not artistic. And he was just mad. So then we jump right back into Arthur and SHINRA's situation, and they were fighting the dude. I can't remember his name. But anyway, the one that turned himself into an infernal. But he's not your typical infernal. He's an infernal with horns. So the archer chick called him a demon. And we also saw like a mini flashback, and SHINRA kind of lost his composure because that's the one that he saw when their house burned down. Now, at the same time, while thinking about all of this, this is one I'm kind of going to jump into a theory a little bit, because the archer chick said when SHINRA was freaking out and like his powers wasn't working or anything, and he kind of had like he was caught in some kind of trance or whatever, and his legs looked like skeleton legs and bones and everything. And the chick told him, well, you're connected to the Adola. No, what did she say? The Adola burst or whatever, something like that. You're connected to that, so you really don't belong in the Fire Force. You belong with us. Okay, now, with thinking that, and then she was like, the commander has the same power that he has. And you chose to use your power for the Fire Force. Okay, now I know I'm mixing up a whole bunch of stuff because more stuff happened in between that. But I really wanted to get this out there because I'm speculating that when she's mentioning the commander, is that either someone else that's high up in charge, or is she talking about SHINRA's brother, and he's a commander because he's connected to the Adola Burst as well, and he uses his power for the evangelist. Now, there's so many ways that could go. There could be someone else entirely, but I'm speculating that she's talking about Shinra's brother because we all know that he's not dead now. There's so much going on in this episode. That's why I screamed it was perfection. And the animation quality. Wonderful, man. It was absolutely fantastic. And seeing everything animated that way that it was, the colors, the fire looked good. And like I said last week, the smoke was on point again. And so then we get a little side stuff that's going on as well. We have the twins from the 7th. We see them fighting and using their powers. And they kind of look like Kitsune, which was nice, man. They were like a golden fire and they looked like Kitsune. That was boss. AKA foxes. Then we have Maki and Tamaki fighting, and they're fighting just like all of the people in the 7th. And we have the captain and the lieutenant, and Captain Obi and the lieutenant was like, should we fight? And the lieutenant was like, no, we shouldn't. So they had the comedy in as well, but we dove right back into the action, man. Because while Arthur and Shinra were fighting the guy that turned himself into a full-on infernal with horns, he was getting the best of them. Arthur tried to protect Shinra because Shinra kind of got zoned out, like I said when I went into the whole theory just a few moments ago. He kind of was zoned out, so he was gone. And Arthur had to kind of take over the whole battlefront, and Arthur was blocking and doing pretty good until dude kind of got the upper hand on him. And then when he got to fight Shinra, he rocked Shinra, dude. He was like, he threw an uppercut to the body, and it like took everything out of Shinra. Then we had BENIMARU spot this dude from a distance, and he came over there flying, dude, on this little wooden broom thing. And he came, and he was going at it with dude, and he was like, "Oh, you're a tough one, aren't you?" But he really couldn't get anywhere, so then it registered in his mind. Okay, you're the same one that Conroe had to fight a long time ago. That's cool. I'll just do what Conroe did. Excuse me. So he done what Conroe did. He took him and shot him up to the sky, and he's getting ready to at least unleash this huge explosion that caused a big crater in their district a long time ago that Conroe done. And while he's doing that and he's going ham, we have all of this other stuff, and we have Shinra still reeling from that little vision that he had where his legs had just kind of turned to skeletons. And at that time, the archer chick shoots an arrow at BENIMARU, and she's ready to kill him. Conroe tried to use his fire to get there, but man, you know, he's so far gone, he can't use his powers anymore. And he falls down the ladder. I thought he was hurt. Like, dude, you are good to fall down that ladder and hit straight ground and not be as hurt. So, and then somehow, and I'm thinking that this is also connected with his powers that the archer chick was talking about, Conroe called out to Shinra. Like, within his heart, within his heart of hearts, he called out to Shinra. And somehow it connected to Shinra, and it shook his legs and kind of gave it like a weird vibration type look. And Shinra just knew immediately. He looked up in the sky and he was like, oh, BENIMARU. So he was gone, man. It dude looked like, and they gave that little whole after effect where he like broke through like the sound barrier and everything. And the archer chick was like, he's not gonna reach. And the next thing, he broke through the sound barrier, it looked like, and he reached the arrow. And she was like, well, that's fine, that's cool. You can reach the arrow all you want to, but you won't intervene. Man, dude, when it happened, it was so boss. He was like, he tried to stop it with all of his might, but it really wasn't going anywhere. And the next thing you know, it kind of registered in him. And he was like, he was thinking about everything that she said. And he was like, no, that's not true. I'm gonna use my powers for good. And then when he did it, it took the arrow, and he didn't really just like get rid of it, but like he just kind of just let it launch over BENIMARU and himself. So it didn't hit anything. Dude, it was so epic, man. Everything was absolutely fantastic. What else did we get? I think that's it. And then we have Shinra saving BENIMARU when he's falling, and then he crosses his arm and you're like, well, you saved me. Thanks. He was like he didn't say thank you, but it was like that was what was going on in his mind. He was like, well, thank you. I guess you saved me. I mean, because he couldn't use his powers anymore. He had overused his powers. Dude, it was absolutely bomb, man. And then we had Conroe at the end was like, well, we have to thank everyone, but everyone in the 8th company, but we have to give a major, huge shout out to Shinra for saving BENIMARU, man. Dude, episode was bomb. In my opinion, best episode so far. It was pure perfection, man. I loved it every down to the last second. The animation was on. It was just it was perfect to me, man. This is your boy Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.